national leader of Yoruba movement worldwide to this yet another press conference. It's a monthly thing. I have seen large number of people saying it is too long. We should start, but I have to discuss that with Papa. Don't forget, Papa is a very clever old young man. So we cannot take anything away from him. We also need to appreciate that is one of the most beautiful gifts. So we cannot over stress him too much. So most of the time, I'm a manager. But if there's any breaking news that Papa needs to speak to the world, we will bring him. Day and then we'll get him. He's ready. He's an ever-ready leader. Now, today is another day that I have no doubt in my mind that most of your questions you sent to me and some of the things we want to go through with Papa to let the national leader tell the Yoruba land all over the world. And I also need to be very careful, especially this conscious statement. If Baba chooses to speak English, that's fine. But if he also chooses to speak Yoruba, that would be fantastic. And I'll tell you why. As a leader of Yoruba, where we have one language, like the Russian, like the Ukrainian, like any other country, like the Indian, like Pakistani. This is also a country that we speak a national language, which is Yoruba. So if in the process, one or two or three people want to find out what we have said, they can translate it. We are not being arrogant. We are just trying to let you know that at least we're starting with our culture, which has so much values. I even speak more German than Oyinbo. So really and honestly, bear with us. So we will mix it where necessary. So I want to welcome you to this April press conference, Papa. Tabatika 5 and 6. After 5, so far so good. Unless they can jump. Many people are saying, "How are you?" I mean, you already said it. Well, okay, our family income, because without your family, without your extended family, you will not be able to function. Am I right?
Paula used to joke about that. He said, "We Yoruba, when we meet anybody or somebody's been away and he said, or you meet him in the streets, and so Papa will say the same thing to a little child and say, so it is our culture. Because the Yoruba conceives of every person as a member of a unit of humanity, and a unit that deserves to be respected very carefully. That's the Yoruba way of life. So when we need to say Ayanko, Omonko, Awanrade Gobonko, that's our way. That's the Yoruba way. Other people say hello, hi. No, the Yoruba people say hello, hi. A professor of mine when I was young said, "Do you know the meaning of hi that the Americans say?" I said, "No." He said it means hello, goodbye at the same time. they don't want to be bothered by you. Hello, goodbye, hi. No, we are not
that's
like
nice
that.
One. Oda be àwọn young people of today. Toman fi ṣòkòtò na fi si bẹ̀bẹ̀ ready. Elo o pe ke mi ti mo pẹ́ kin tó mọ̀ why tí wọ́n ṣe ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. Later lọ́jọ́ sọ pé àwọn ọmọ ẹlẹ́wọ̀n ni wọ́n ń ṣe inú ẹ̀wọ̀n náà ti máa ń sábà ṣe kinní yẹn. So gẹ́gẹ́ bí something àwọn nǹkan míì tá mọ̀ pọ̀ gangan. Anyway, Baba, let me thereafter one of our main principal, our hero, our one and only Chief Sunday Igboho. How is he, sir?
How is he? Is very well. I've just left. I was with him all this morning. We needed to discuss it. So Professor Adeniran and I went to see him. That's after we had seen some of the people ruling this country. He's fine. He's fine. Fine. He's surrounded by his family. It's a joyful environment. Unbelievably joyful environment.
Yes, sir. So the message is everything is fine, and we have no cause, we have no reason to start taking unnecessary rumor here and there. Yes.
Yeah, those who are carrying rumors around are the people who didn't want him released in the first place. It has been released. Somebody asked me, "It's temporarily released?" I said, "Where did you get the word temporarily?" Another said, it's half and half release. I said, "Where did you get half and half?" He has been released, period. That's the truth of the matter. But he now recognizes the experience of 6 months in prison has taught him that it is more important in the life of our people than he thought. He has seen how Yoruba people in all corners of the world are praying and threatening to take action on his behalf and sending, going to his children in Germany to give them gifts, going to his children in Germany to give them little gifts, and so on and so on. So he has come to recognition that he is, in fact, for the Yoruba people, a very important person, and he must now act more deliberately, more with greater consideration than before. So he's pondering his next steps, and when it comes out, I'm sure that the whole of the Yoruba nation will be dancing for joy. I'm very happy. I'm very happy for Sunday, really. I'm very, very happy for him. I'm happy that he has discovered his niche in life. That's it.
Well, our best wishes about Kiwanda. We're looking forward for the date. Gbogbo ama kwa ní ìlú wa, ìlú aláǹfààní.
Tighten our belts to build the greatest country in the world.
Now, let's go to some questions which majority of our people, because I monitor the what are people saying.
Hello.
And I've listed some of them. So I'm going to ask you one by one, and believing that the answer will come from you with all the honesty and everything. So far, so good. We have no reason to doubt you, sir. Now, the first one, the first one, many people are still talking about the Central Bank of Yoruba Land. When I say Central Bank, one place, one major account, not individual accounts, sir. Not the one you are going to launch before the whole 70-something million Yoruba and say, this is the Central Bank of our country. How far?
Yeah.
How far, sir?
Yeah, soon, very, very soon. Let me be honest. I myself have contributed to the delay in the sense that I asked for the highest of standards. I don't want to take this into the Yoruba nation until it is perfect. And so I keep pushing the people who are working at it. I have a final write-up now in my hand. And it arrived late last night, and I'm still working at it. I woke up at 3 o'clock this morning to go and work at it. It's good, but there are little details that I want to see perfected. I'm sure that when it finally comes out, people will recognize that these people have really worked at this, because there will be no complaint at all. There will be no mistrust, no fears that anybody can go to that account and do what they like with it. It cannot happen the way things have been developed. I want to say that I'm very happy, I'm very proud that I'm connected with this. It will come out soon. Another week, maybe less than a week. We will be able to hold a press conference, do the inauguration, put joy in the hearts of Yoruba people everywhere. It is coming, and I know that when it comes, it shall be big. Okay. The Jewish National Fund was started in the 1920s. Today, it contains trillions of dollars. And Israel leans very heavily upon it. That's the kind of faith that I envisage for our own national fund, Yoruba National Fund. Thank you.
The next common information we receive, or I receive, that people want you to throw more light on the issue of it's now become like Ekiti, the election, the litigation that is ongoing in Ekiti, because majority of our people, they want to know what exactly is in it for them and why we are pursuing that area, sir.
Putting that knowledge in the public place. People have been conducting elections under this constitution since 1999. In fact, there was no constitution at the time that General Obasanjo was being sworn in 1999. There was no constitution. The constitution was not yet ready. It was not ready until many days after he was sworn in. And people have been operating as if we're slaves. The people who control Nigeria are treating us as if we have no rights, that we are just a slave community. And they could put a constitution or not, they could have a constitution or not have a constitution, and so on. But when this Yoruba self-determination struggle started in 1999, we started to put this, the light upon it to see. So we have now arrived at a situation. We have now actually at the end of 1999, at the beginning of 2019, and the beginning of 2020, we had a write-up, and we involved some of our greatest lawyers, constitutional lawyers in the country, done a lot of work. We went to see Chief Afe Babalola, we went to see Professor Kasumu, retired. You cannot hold an election under this kind of constitution. You cannot continue to do so. You've done so in the past. That's an aberration, a horror. But now you cannot do it anymore. San Olanikwekun said more or less the same. Femi Falana said Nigeria just simply doesn't have a constitution. Even General Obasanjo has admitted that there is no constitution. And even the president who did the constitution, who did the forgery,
Abdul
slaves. If we allow these people to come and hold yet these constitutions in our land.
Hello, welcome back. Welcome back to the second part of this press briefing with the national leader of the Yoruba people. So far, we've been able to deal with the some of your queries, because I have so many questions, and I've been able to, ask the national leader about central accounts, about the litigations going on in Ekiti. The next common and very popular question people are asking is issue of we are saying, anlo. Bita anlo. She ale bora one bita anlo. There is something related to a Greek. She bita anlo. She ale fi darawa. Aba kan la kotun afi kora lo si biti anlo yen pe ke bitu ma lo pa amben. These are, I mean, and when people ask that question, sir, even though I have the answer, I can tell them. But they are saying, oúnjẹ tá à ń jẹ ní Southwest anyway, gbogbo ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn Fúlàní náà ni.
It's not
So
true.
when people ask that, what do you clever sọ fún àwọn I don't want to call them doubting Thomases, but clever sọ fún wọn, sir.
The first thing I want to say is that they're producing enough food to feed themselves. However, we have gotten used to, in the country of Nigeria, in the context of Nigeria, we've gotten used to a trade pattern that brings food from the middle belt, not from the Hausa Fulani at all. It's from the middle belt to the Yoruba Southwest. And we take a whole lot of other things to the north also. So that is the Nigerian pattern of trade. It does not necessarily mean that we depend on the north for our food. When Nigeria comes to an end, the pattern of trade can still continue between us and the Middle Belt. We're taking certain things to the north, they're bringing food, they produce food. And that is the situation. But in the past few months, the food production in the Middle Belt has suffered a lot from the ravages of the Fulani destroyers. And large numbers of people of the Middle Belt now live in internally displaced refugee camps, so that the volume of trade of food coming from the Middle Belt is no longer as big as before. And yet we are able to feed ourselves. We are not starving in the Southwest. There was a time about a year ago, some months ago, when the Fulani said they were going to block the road. They were going to stop the Yoruba Southwest. We laughed. That's because they didn't know the statistics. They didn't know the statistics of what was happening. We Yoruba produce a lot of food, and we export a lot of food abroad, especially to places like America and so on, etc. What can happen is that if the food in the Middle Belt stops coming, we do a little less of exporting. But to say, oh, are we going to be able to feed ourselves, is believing that all or almost all the food we eat is from the Middle Belt. That is not true. That is not true. We can feed ourselves. But more importantly, there is some question that is more important than food. And I've been asked this question in writing, verbally, face to face with my questioner, quite often away from me in some foreign country. Babao, do you think we can really run a country? And what they are referring to is this: there is so much of individualism now. Everybody is seeking his own good and very little consciousness. And if you want to hear the worst things about a Yoruba man, go to another Yoruba man. That's where you are going to hear it. You are going to hear people tell lies against a Yoruba person. Go to find a Yoruba person, they will tell the lies to your satisfaction. So people are asking, people who behave like that, can they really run a straightforward country? The answer is no. There is no way people who behave like that will be able to run a country. But we are not going to be behaving like that. We are behaving like that because we have been repressed for 60 years. We have been suffering repression for 60 years. Almost all areas of our lives have been touched. Our school system, our educational system, the quality of education, the quality of teaching in the schools, the quality of the school rooms themselves, and so on. Everything has declined. Even the university, which we built with a great deal of love and money, that was one of the front-line research centers in the world for some time, has declined, because the people who rule the country want that to happen to us. They want to destroy our educational system. Then, when our children go out of school and they graduate from school, they want to destroy them by making sure they don't get a job. And so they roam around the streets. Some run away abroad. Some try to reach Europe through the Mediterranean Sea and the Sahara Desert and the Mediterranean Sea. And many of them die in the effort. So we are a repressed people. Listen, I once said to somebody who was questioning, I said, I've spent all my adult life teaching in universities. Every year, we have a generation of young people come from their schools. We have given them the admission, they come with their head in the air, they are stepping onto something that will change their life forever, and so they come into our universities. Well, you should see the quality of life that the students now live in the universities. I was hall master of Fayoyi Hall in Ife, in Obafemi Awolowo University. Now, students of the hall tell me, Baba, please don't come there because you may have a heart attack, to see the poor quality of life that the students live there. Federal government of Nigeria has cancelled the university feeding system. The children have to feed themselves, they are cooking in their rooms, and so on and so forth. That's what we have in our universities now. That is a major legacy of Nigeria in our life. And we are going to remove that as fast as possible. Our children are going to have some of the best education in the world. Our children, when they graduate from school, will immediately get jobs and so on. So that all this excessive self-centeredness, this excessive seeking of the self, and being distrustful of your fellow men, and being ready to tell lies against your fellow men, and so on and so forth. All of that will go. All of that will go. A repressed people behave like that. But when the repression is over, it stops. The repression will be over when we have our own country. That is so. So we are Yoruba. We are a nation of civilization builder. We are going to build a great country in our country.
Thank you, sir. The other common reference or common thinking, or what many other people will see as, well, we are used to a place where nothing really works.
Yeah.
And that there's no discipline where they are now. I'm referring to location 419 or whatever. And so, well, look, we are used to what we are doing. That we don't have light, we don't have water, we have no roads, we have no Medicare. It's not a major. I mean, we are used to it somehow. But then just say back on, and I mean, can you back on? So, if I let them go along, you might as well stay where we are. What will you say to these people? Tony, I want to use Moya. In the case of Mosa.
Our Yoruba can get used to we are people who want the best out of life. If our says the Yoruba want the best, the highest quality of life for themselves, and that's the truth of the matter. And we, the rulers, that's what Chief Awolowo said. We, the rulers, must strive to give them the best quality of life. We don't have the typical Yoruba kind of governor or politicians today. Everybody is seeking for himself. Governors and so on see their society disintegrating, and they do not do anything to change it. They go on like that year after year. The Yoruba people are known as the greatest traders in the history of West Africa. in the history of Africa, actually. Yoruba traders used to take goods all the way to the Congo, to what is now South Sudan and Sudan, to Mali, to the Gambia, to the and so on. We Yoruba used to be there everywhere, and the existence of Yoruba trading colonies in those places testify to that truth. But a time came in the 1980s, 1990s, especially the 1990s, when foreigners fleeing from out of Nigeria took over all our trade. And the answer, what our governors ought to have done, we from abroad wrote letters and memoranda and so on, appealing to them, do something. This is what we should do. None of them took any action. None. Akintoye. He said, he wrote a letter on the social media that on a day when the Igbo people had gone away to go and celebrate something in Igbo land, all the shops in Akintoye were shut down. It was as if the whole town had shut down. And so on. That is the way it was. Now the Fulani have come to take our land, and you can see what the governors are doing. There are just the governor Fayose in Ekiti was up and coming, and he tried to fight the aberration, the disease, but after him, Akeredolu, besides those two, who is doing anything about the Fulani among the governors in Yoruba land? So that is the kind. We have now reached a point at which our repressed governors are behaving like Fulani governors. They don't care what is happening to our people. They don't care. And we are going to change all of that, of course. In fact, that is one major reason why we must get out of Nigeria as quickly as possible. So we can go back to the original quality, the original ethos of Yoruba government and leadership, namely that the ruler is ruler only for the purpose of improving the quality of his life, of the life of his people. That's what Chief Awolowo did, that we are now singing his praises. That's what Chief Awolowo did, that we are singing his praises today. In one conference that we held in the United States before I left, a young man said, if we were all traditionalists today, who didn't have Christians and Muslims among us, we would be deifying Chief Awolowo. That's the truth of the matter. We would deify him. But we cannot do so now because most of us are Christians and Muslims and so on. Yeah, that's how important the man has been in our lives. He lived the life of the typical Yoruba leader who works for the improvement in his people. When traditionally, when the Yoruba king sits in his palace and the chiefs surround him every day and so on, they are planning how to make their town good. How the market women in the market will market in peace, and they will make the money to go and take care of their families. If there is a drought, how to bring back rain from heaven so that the farmers can produce for everybody. Safety on the roads. Clapperton's group testified that everywhere we go, we have been in this country for many months. Everywhere we go, there is peace and orderliness on the highways. And there are traders day and night, and you don't see any trouble anywhere. In one place, just before they got to Oyo, there was some trouble. I think some Fulani were there, and so on. And the traders sat down. An official of the king told them, sit down, just wait. The king was, and within a few minutes, the king sent officers, armed officers, to go and see to the situation, and they were able to continue their journey and their trading. That's the Yoruba land. Yoruba land of 1825, when Clapperton visited Yoruba land, was safer then than we are today in Yoruba land of 2022. So we are a people capable of building a decent and progressive country. We have been prevented from doing so because we are part of a Nigeria that is ruled by people who don't want any progress, who think that the ruler has a prerogative to seize all the goods of society for himself. That is it. And so we are following them. But we won't follow them when we have our own country. In fact, one of the major reasons why we need to have our own country is that we must go back to the original quality and philosophy of Yoruba governance. Thank you.
Cesar, thank you very much. Again, I have three more, and I also want to say, if you allowed it, Teba Fesa, because of time, to allow maybe maximum 5 questions from outside, but I will continue to read the text messages that have been sent to me. I will read it to you, sir.
Right.
There's one other area. I mean, you have combined economy. You have at least assured the citizens of our country, Yoruba, that power as àgbẹ̀ tí wọ́n jẹ́ pé genuine àgbẹ̀ ni wọ́n kí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣàgbẹ̀ nítorí pé kínní, and with modern technology there will be provision, there will be changes that will be made in farming mechanism. So ní kọ́ ti gbàtà ọkọ̀ àtẹ àdá náà máa fi ṣe gbá. All that are in pipeline, no. All that are building. The next one that people are sending is census, because Papa, one of the cleverest method or tools tí Nigeria ń lò as we speak, tí wọ́n fi ń da ìlú, tí wọ́n fi ń jí gbogbo everybody lówó, òun ni the fraudulently put together census. Tí ní proper census, Risa, I can testify that at my age. Tí ní proper census. So people are now saying, they keep connecting us with the contraptions, with the problem to learn Nigeria, and I cannot blame them, because as we speak, we are still part of it. So what is your government? What is it going to do about a census and statistics in order to plan effectively and properly?
We've never had a census in Nigeria. Every census, 1952, 1963, 19 whatever, is all concocted figures. One governor came out of a meeting where they were considering the census in 2012 or so, and said, one thing come out saw the real census. So, but the figures before us shows that Nigeria is about 140 million, about 240 million. But they say we should keep it to 20 so that the people will not be frightened. So that Nigeria, the British taught us to concoct because they wanted the North to count as the largest part of Nigeria. And that has been repeated again and again and again since then. There is no way, if we remain in Nigeria, there is no day Nigeria will have a census. But because to them, census doesn't mean anything, whereas census is an instrument of development. They don't see it like that. Census is for them a tool of political domination. So, yeah. So when we have our own country, of course, we are going to have a proper census because we want to know how many people are we building for? How many people are we providing for? That's the important thing about a census. It's not political or anything. So, yes, we have never had a census. It's our own country that we will have a proper census in Yoruba land.
We're making progress. The other area many people are talking and is freedom of speech. Okay? How much freedom Kini, how is rule of law going to work under your government? How people are they going to be free to have freedom of speech? And is rule of law going to be operative, or is it going to be your government that is somebody you know? Momo Tumba, Momo Shiba, Momo Professor, I didn't know.
No,
Only by me for Mrs. School.
no,
Is that the kind of government
no,
you want to
no.
run, sir?
In fact, the way to suppress the character of the subdued people, the character of selfishness, self-centeredness, of lying and mistrust and doubt and so on, and all sorts of aberrations, would be to institute a law-abiding nation immediately, a land of law and order immediately, a country of law, a system of law. That is the only way we can succeed. And it has to be a law that doesn't know people, doesn't know who you are Chief Lagbaja, or you are Prime Minister Lagbaja, and so on. We break the law, the police will be trained differently, as they are trained in many countries that we know. In Germany, for instance, where you live for a long time, the police don't know you. They don't care who you are. They just know that you are a human being and that there is a law that you are breaking. So they bring you in for punishment to the courts and so on. The same thing in the United States to a great extent. Yeah, and so our own country is going to be a land of law. There is no law in Nigeria. You know, the rulers do what they like, and benefit those whom they want to benefit, and disadvantage those they want to disadvantage. And if you break the law, the chairman of a political party, APC, said about a year ago, or more than a year ago, if you have problems with the law or with EFCC, the remedy is clear. Come and join our party. That will wipe away your sins. That's a kind of is. But that's a primitive, barbarous country. Yeah, we are not, the Yoruba nation is not going to be like that. It's going to be a land of law, a system of law.
So everybody will be equal, sir.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
There are one or two questions that's related to present ongoing political parties, but I don't want to, genuinely, because of time, I don't want to bother you or burden you with their problem. It is their palaver to choose somebody who has been indicted, somebody who's supposed to be in jail, to be the new chairman of the ruling party. Again, like I said, I said it. I don't want to take you through that because that is what is going on. This man has been arrested, in fact, he's supposed to be in jail for the rest of his life. And part of the years he cannot serve, his children should be able to help him to continue. Yeah. But then he emerged as the national chairman. And also, we also have someone who, well, yet to be involved. His name mentioned many times. Yeah, there is with the one of our national leader, Bola Ige, that is now the national jaw area of running a political party. I've gone to, I don't want to call them criminals. I don't want to be rude. So what do you now want to get from these people? Absolutely rubbish. So, Papa, let me move on to the there's a clip. Yes, sir. Go on, sir.
As they say in computer language, get out.
That's right, sir. It's what we put in, it's what we get out. Yeah. Yes.
You gather the garbage. You gather the garbage in the street and you make them your rulers. What are they going to give you? Garbage.
Exactly. It is very, very unfortunate. So I have two more. These are comments these are like what people are saying, what has happened. And I want to say to the whole world who are watching this meeting with you, sir, and it's my pleasure to say that I'm learning every day from you as one of your advisors. The way we communicate cannot be better than the way Awolowo, Papa later Awolowo communicate with most of his aides and his people whom he had worked with many years. There's the ordinary people are saying, well, somebody said something. Then ìgbà tán sọ pé wọ́n ní kí bàbá ṣe kinní kan, bàbá ò ṣe kinní kan, wọ́n ní wọ́n tí wọ́n ní bàbá ṣe gangan. So bàbá lè mọ bóun ṣe fẹ́ dáhùn. Bàbá ẹ bá sọ pé bàbá ṣe kinní kan. Now, and somebody now come with the issue of somebody among the press men, I mean media, is insisting pé bàbá should step down. And because of that, some people are angry. When ìgbà tí bàbá tí ẹnìkan ní kí bàbá ayò mọ́yé Monday to Friday tí wọ́n ní kí Joe Biden step down. Ṣé èèyàn tiẹ̀ láti kọ́kọ́ ṣe nǹkan kan tẹ́ bá ń gbọ́rú nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ sà, what's your reaction?
Ṣé rí lágbára Ọlọ́run tá a bá ní country ara wa tí èèyàn kan bá ń ṣe premier wa Ọlọ́run ò ní jẹ́ ká ní president o láyé because that is a disease. Because president is a disease in the world, we now know. So prime minister wa no matter whether it's good or bad, go step down, very man, and so he has a right to say so. He has a right to say so.
He has the right to say so.
He has a right to say so. The only thing ni wípé bàbá tẹ ní kó step down kò sí position to occupy, so tí lè sọ fún pé kó step down.
Dẹ̀ tí ìka ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ reason tí wọ́n fi ní kó step down.
Wọ́n ka ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ o ọmọdé kan lè dúró sí gbòòrò Ìbàdàn ní Gbági kó sọ pé bàbá yẹn kó kúrò bẹ́ẹ̀ gan kí tí ẹ ṣe jẹ́. He has a right to do so. That's the thing. The important thing is that the state of law will state of law. Tó bá jẹ́ òótọ́ làwọn ọmọ wọ̀nyẹn tán rí nǹkan against bàbá tó ń ṣe premier wọn tán ní kó kúrò bẹ́ẹ̀ àwọn ò fẹ́ mọ́ and so on. Then we will have to investigate why. And if it deserves to, ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá máa yàtọ̀ is going to be one of the most decently ruled countries on earth. It is going to be different. That our country will be one of the most decently ruled countries on earth. That's all.
Sir, I have read out most of the questions, and we make arrangement to have a 1 hour press briefing, which we started a little bit late. We'll be 5 minutes late. So far, there are no more to say than to want to thank Medical Insa. And like I said at the initial stage, many people are saying 1 month is coming is because of the dynamics, the dynamics of how things are changing every day, which will make it a little bit frequent, maybe. So, but that would be due to that's a decision you have to take, sir. The large number of sir. But the only one thing tell me only change man showing kakiri anytime after 9. Anyway, but when you Biden money, Alaji Biden, hold on, no, that man must go to bed. He's older than you are, so he must go to bed by 9 o'clock or so. I will continue to do that. I want to appreciate you, sir. And
I thank you very much for it.
Yes, sir. Many people now send messages about Papa Papa fún wa o, wọ́n ti dàgbà pẹ́pẹ́ fún wa, so wọ́n á mú wa délẹ̀ ìlérí. I think if I don't have any calls coming in, or no more, dealt with all the information, all the text messages I have, sir. Baba, thank you very much. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Friday, that Friday, I'll send you an invite, sir. God bless you.
All right. I thank you. I say this to all our people listening everywhere. I love you. And I'm very proud to be one of you. I'm proud to be a Yoruba person. By the way, I've just finished writing a book. And you know the title of the book?
Sir.
The Yoruba People.
Yoruba people.
The Yoruba people. Foremost black nation. The Yoruba people. Foremost black nation. That's it.
Yes, sir. We look forward to that. And hold on, no, lastminute.com. Lastminute.com. Hello, who is calling and where are you calling from? Quick one, because Papa is about to go.
Hello, sir.
Hello, quick one.
Okay,
okay. Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Nipa petition. And yes. Papa, Nipa petition, the caller is from France. And also only it can only be Professor Banji Akintoye to ma gbohun àwọn èèyàn 1,000 to them I'm proud of you because I've seen that in Awolowo.
Thank you.
I saw that in Awolowo. Awolowo wa gbọ́
Gambia, Senegal and so on. Pé àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá pọ̀ síbẹ̀ kò sẹ́ni kankan tó ń reach wọn láti máa collect signature wọn yẹn. So they organize themselves. It is surprising to me. I am proudly surprised about it. So they organized themselves. They left home. Some I want to put me lára àwọn Burkina Faso náà wà. Wọ́n dẹ̀ náà àwọn ọmọ wọn pọ̀ síbẹ̀ gan ní Ouagadougou and so on. And they are getting them to sign the petition and so on. So it is a great thing. The thing is going fast. But àwọn kan náà pè mí ní láàárọ̀ pé bàbá ẹ jẹ́ kán máa publish iye tá a ti jẹ́ at the end of every week so that by Saturday night àwọn ẹ̀yà announce pé the buy la dé so that by Sunday morning tá a bá jí that news will hit us. Máa make sure pé wọ́n ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ máa sọ fún wọn pé àwọn ọmọ tó ń ṣe yẹn. That's it. But the petition is going very well.
Thank you very much. Well, again, like I said, I want to thank you again and again and again and again. Papa, you are such a wonderful. I'm able, I'm one of the people to feel about Professor Banji Akintoye. We are very lucky. We have a fantastic leader. So far, so good. I have to call it a day. Hopefully, Teba agree. See another 2 weeks from today. Come meet your people. I will organize it. I will be there for you, sir. So we'll stick to that. It's all in your hands, sir. Your decision is final.
I'm also. Whatever will best serve the interests of our people, I'm ready to do anytime.
Wow. Shiza, thank you very, very much. God bless you.
All right. Okay.
Send them to Cleveland Radio TV, and they will process it. And as you can see, the national leader is mine before I ask questions. I only ask questions you want me to ask him. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Have you seen Odiba?